The city is wilder than you think and kinder than you think. It is a valley and you are a horse in it. It is a house and you are a child in it, safe and warm here in the fire of each other. I mean, I really love simple things like being in the city and feeling the weather, like feeling the wind in the trees and feeling like, that the city is actually not a completely domesticated space, but it is like the land. The idea of like feeling the earth underneath your feet in the city and therefore it being wilder than you think and remaining in some way a wild place. And then I love the idea of the city being like, a warm, safe place. I worked for a long time around here, around Hoxton, with smaller billboards which I would put up myself at night surreptitiously over those ads on the ends of bus stops. So for a couple of years I worked that way quite quietly, and then in the last 2 years I've started being able to do big billboards. I mean, you're constantly barraged with like words and phrases and taglines and billboards, and I feel a little bit bombarded by that. So my billboards are obviously very, very, first of all, quite blank, like they're just black backgrounds and white text. So there is sort of aesthetic contrast to the spectacle of advertising, and they just say very frank, simple things. The billboard texts are long, and the recycles on pieces are shorter. They're made with solar power, so they take the power of the sunlight of one day and they light up at night according to the weather, in a sense. They are connected to the weather. They sort of live with the weather. So if it's a very sunny day, they light up bright. If it's a dull day, they light up soft. We take any opportunity we can to make billboards because, in a sense, that's the most important part of the work that just reaches ordinary people. Obviously, they come from a conceptual art tradition, but I'm very conscious that I write them so that they can be understood and read without having that art historical knowledge. The email is from like a school teacher in Melbourne, Australia, or a guy who works in a bar in Chicago who just write to say, look, I read this and I found your email, it just really touched me, is like by far, in a way, the most profound reward, because it means it's touching real people. And it really works out there in the world and not just in this sort of like microcosm of art, which matters to me quite a lot.